This
Yep, ready to
conference
go.
will now be recorded.
Okay, I'm going to call the Public Works Committee meeting of September 1st, 2020 to order at 5:06 p.m. I'm Ken Poisson, 6th District Councilman and Chairman of the Public Works Committee. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. I'll take a motion to approve from August 3rd.
So moved, Bill O'Brien.
I'll second Laura Dancha.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, Ken, it's
Any
Greg, I'll
opposed?
abstain. Greg will abstain, I just wasn't there.
Okay, chair votes aye. Motion carries with one abstention. Item 3 is the report of the Public Works Director, and Renee Sarah will be giving that this evening for Mo McCarthy. Go ahead, Renee.
Okay, so potholes are being repaired on a daily basis. Crews are cleaning catch basins in several areas of the town. Road resurfacing has been completed. Driveway aprons and curbs are in the process of being completed in conjunction with the resurfacing program. All vehicles in the fleet are being sanitized on a regular basis. The street sweeping program is complete for the season. All personnel in the department are required to wear personal protective equipment. Summer projects for the Board of Education are completed. Lordship School parking lot and Worcester Middle School parking lot have been pulverized and resurfaced. Curbs have been installed and some sidewalks replaced. That's the gist of the report for the town. I do have a separate report on the cleanup operation for Storm Isaiah. So after Storm Isaiah struck on August 4th, the Stratford Department of Public Works activated all available personnel for road clearing and yard waste pickup. Operations began on August 5th and ran 7 days per week until August 21st. A total of 18 days from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. each day. Equipment traveled each of the 833 streets in town to clean up fallen trees and other debris scattered by the storm. Over 200 miles of streets were traveled in town. We had the following equipment in use during the entire 3 weeks. One contractor, Razor's Edge, using a 90-foot crane saw and 2 Bobcat tractors, 1 heavy-duty chipper, 1 60-foot bucket truck, and a logging truck. The contractor removed 4 large town trees that fell on houses and 6 large town trees that blocked main roads in town. For our town staff, we had 6 sanitation trucks with 3 men each, 4 payloaders with 1 man each, 2 3-man tree crews, 3 wood chippers with 2 men assigned to each chipper, 10 dump trucks with 1 man each, 5 crew leaders, 1 administrator during each working shift, and 5 mechanics. At the present time, we are not back to normal shift. Staff will be preparing school grounds first, 2 high schools, 2 middle schools, and then the 11 elementary schools, and then cleaning all parks and town buildings. That's a total of 72 locations, 833 acres in all. And that's what we've been up to.
Does anybody have any questions for Renee?
Bill O'Brien, Renee, a couple questions. Do we hope to get some federal reimbursement?
We're hoping, currently there is no official executive order. We have been tracking our expenses and are prepared to submit should the governor and others declare a state of emergency and authorize FEMA involvement.
Okay, and what's the status of the parking lot? What's that called down there next to DeLuca Field? What's our temporary transfer station?
The Honeywell lot. We are currently putting specs together, which require a little bit more dedication only because we are going to put it out with the FEMA language for the federal guidelines and language requirements in a bid, just in case it does get authorized. Then we don't have to go back and fight them to get that covered. So we're putting those specs out together. We're going to have to find someone who's going to be able to come in and chip it and then haul away and dispose of it.
Thanks. Everybody did a great job, and I think we were way ahead of other towns in getting the cleanup done.
I agree.
Renee, I have a quick question for you, and I think it's, I don't know if it's in Laura's district or Bill O'Brien's, but people I know live on Root Drive, and 2 huge branches have fallen off town trees since the sweep of the whole town, and they're laying out in the street, and they were wondering if the town guys are coming back to get those, because it looked like the branch was broken, but it just didn't fall yet, and now it's finally fallen from the storm. There are 2 big trees on Root Drive.
And that's R-E-U-T. Is that the spelling of that street?
Yes.
I think that's
I
my district.
will have them taken care of.
Renee,
We're doing it on, like, if there's people that call in, we're kind of addressing them as they come in, because we're finding that a lot of people keep putting stuff out from their backyard and we're just not getting ahead. So we're addressing those as they come up, and we'll have them taken care of.
Okay, yeah, I was actually on the street, and Laura, if you drive by, I think it is yours, right, Laura?
yeah, it's mine.
Yeah, I drove down the street, and I'm 99.9% sure they just fell right off the town tree. It doesn't look like anybody dragged anything from their backyard. As you said, I know people were doing that.
Yep, not a problem. We'll have it picked up.
Okay, any other questions for Renee?
Hey, Bill O'Brien again, Ken. One not on the report at all. Renee, do you happen to know the status of the items getting moved at the future Veterans Museum at Booth? They're going to get moved over to the, I can't think of what's called over there.
Yes, we met with those individuals last week. They've got a lot of, the Friends of Booth have just a bit of work to do before we schedule the move. They've got different items going to different locations. We need them to kind of tag it to give the movers some direction so things don't get completely scrambled. And they've asked for a couple of weeks to kind of get that done. And then I believe, I forget what her name, maybe it was Doreen Jagle has a daughter getting married, so she had asked for a little extra time to get through the wedding. So it is on our radar. We did meet with them to kind of get a general idea, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be towards the end of September.
Oh, good. Thanks for the update. I think Mo said they're probably going to use William B. Meyer to make the move.
Yes, we had them out there.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Renee.
Ken, it's
Yes.
Greg.
Yes, Greg.
If this is the right time, I have 3 questions from Caitlin I'd like to bring to Renee's attention. One's regarding Longbrook Park, that the pond was recently had algae remediation, but then there was a question of other cleanup activities, such as around the sidewalks, cutting the grass. Not sure if there's work orders out or if there's particular issues.
Well, as I said in my in the update, they're in the schools right now. Town parks have not been touched because they just barely finished the streets, and then they had to hurry up and get through the schools. Town parks
Yep.
is next after the schools are all cleaned up and ready to go.
Nice. 2 more quick ones, I hope. Outside Paradise Green, there's a community bulletin board from the Patastola sidewalk. Somebody broke the glass, and question is, can we clean it up and replace the glass?
Certainly.
But not sure why nobody else cleaned up the glass, but
I think that has gotten broken many times.
Okay.
I don't think this is the first time we've addressed this issue with that kiosk there.
Yeah, plexiglass maybe. The last item, Renee, is the paddleboard court, that it's unlocked. And I believe question is, shouldn't it be locked during the off hours?
I'll check with Chad. I'm not sure that would fall under Parks and Recreation. I don't know what their normal procedures are for paddleboard. I don't remember us ever locking and unlocking it on a daily basis, but I'll have to check with Chad because that falls under Parks and Rec purview.
Okay, I understand. That's it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, anything else for Renee?
When do you talk about the work orders are on the agenda, Ken?
No, work orders is under building needs.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Renee. John, Casey, you're up. Item 4, report of the town engineer.
And we have no action items for tonight, so I'll just give a quick update on certain issues. And if you have other questions, you can raise them. The West Broad Street project's moving along. As you know, we had approved a couple change orders last month that haven't been instituted yet because we need DOT approval. And we also have another change order for the retaining walls that we talked about that hasn't been submitted yet. So at this time, the project is scheduled by the original contract to be completed by the end of the month, but the contractor won't be able to complete it at that time. So he will be asking for a time extension, which will be submitted and reviewed by the DOT, who's funding the majority of the project. Route 110 project's essentially complete. There are some change orders that have not been wrapped up yet, and we're still waiting for them to be finalized and recommended to us. So I'll bring those to you when I receive them. Honey Spot Road is Stratford Avenue, trying to again get certain hurdles taken care of. One being the right-of-way phase. We currently have the DOT reviewing the mapping for that, and the town attorney, will be concluding the negotiations with the owners. And then we're also still waiting for the UI to provide us with lighting design for outdoor lighting program for the pedestrian crossings that the DOT is requiring. So at this point, we are waiting for those items to be addressed. And then we can make our final submittal to DOT. The Circle Drive Bridge, the Public Works Department is engaging Dawling Construction to do with the interim emergency repairs to the bridge, as we discussed in the past. And then coincident with that, the town our consultant has just started the design of the permanent bridge replacement project, which was approved last month. They're starting it this month. That will again include a permanent liner of the 2 existing barrels of the pipe culvert, and an additional culvert to be installed to equalize the capacity of the bridge once we're completed. That project, because of the permitting and the right-of-way issues, the design phase, probably a couple of years off before we are implementing that project. Broad Street Bridge project, Bill, you had asked about the traffic light. That application to the DOT for the traffic light is being submitted now. As we discussed at the couple meetings ago, we had recommended a pedestrian lighting system to be installed, and that's going to consist of 2 roadside signs, yellow warning signs with flashing lights so that when you press the button for crossing, the warning light signs will activate to alert the motorists that pedestrians will be crossing the road at the crosswalk. The Old Spring Road project, the consultant advises he should be submitting the final design and permit application for wetlands by the end of this month. Coastal resiliency, the consultant is working on a concept design for the end of Long Beach Boulevard. That's should be getting a submittal on that this week so we can review it with NOAA, who's doing the wetland restoration project at the Great Meadows Marsh right next to Long Beach Boulevard. Contract plating project is underway. And I'm sorry, contract plating and Ray Bestis ball field. The ball field project is underway. The clearing and grubbing of the site has commenced. They're starting to do some environmental work on the press box and contract plating. The haul road from contract plating to the should be starting to be completed this month now that the UI company is moving some utility poles that were in the way of the driveway. So that project is moving forward. And then, of course, they are doing some remediation of several smaller sites throughout town, which will bring material back to the Ray Bestis ball field once it's prepped. And that work should be starting this fall. Brewster Pond, the Conservation Department is doing some study on the water quality at Brewster Pond. And we're also working on the monitoring of outfalls, and we'll concentrate on the area in the watershed of Brewster Pond, in addition to Bruce Brook, to come up with data and come up with solutions to the Brewster Pond problem, which they're having the annual algae bloom this month. So they're working on a strategy for that. And that's about it on a run through of the projects.
Does anybody have any questions for John?
Ken, it's Greg.
Go ahead, Greg.
Thank you, Ken. John, on just a few questions. On a project like West Broad Street, where DOT and state is involved, if there's cost overruns or change orders, who's liable for the expense? In general.
The DOT will review the change orders and our request to make them eligible expenses. For the most part, they'll be eligible expenses because they're all necessary. Otherwise, we wouldn't do them. The state and federal funding of this is 90%, and the town share is 10%.
On Route 110, you're probably referring to the Sikorsky interchange, but there's also a project to, I don't know, I'll call it furrow strips, you know, those like sounding strips that would go down the middle of the road. Do you have an idea on those strips what the cost per distance is? It may vary with the length of the road. The thought is, are there other roads in town that could benefit from that type of application?
Yeah, I don't know what the costs are. That's the DOT is doing that on Route 110. We can find out what they're paying. We can try to find that information out.
Okay, not an emergency. When you mentioned the Broad Street Bridge and the pedestrian crossing, if someone presses the button to cross the street, will the flashing yellow turn to red?
In this case, it won't be an overhead light. It will be a warning light on the sides of the roads. So just like any crosswalk that's crossing the road, the pedestrian has right of way. In this case, they'll be able to press a button, and that button will alert the drivers that someone will be walking in,
Okay,
somewhat different than a stoplight. But the
you.
drivers will be obligated.
okay, it's a warning for the drivers.
Yes.
And one last question is the Long Beach berm. Can you describe the general location of where that will be installed?
The end of Long Beach Boulevard, there's a railroad spur line.
Yes.
So if you go to the end before you get to the warehouses on the other side of the railroad strip, that railroad strip that heads to the east would be the area we'd be proposing to put a berm. And then it would wrap behind the William B. Meyer property toward the FedEx building.
Is there likely a map online to see which properties would be next to the berm?
Yeah,
I'll
the
follow
only,
up with
the
you
only
later.
property that, yeah, the only
the-
property next to the berm would be William B. Meyer.
Okay, and then
I
it'll
can
be
send-
behind FedEx.
Correct.
Excellent. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm all set.
Anybody else have any questions for John? John, I have a quick one. Did they get back to you about the parking lot striping at Stratford High?
No, they didn't. I don't know if Renee is aware of that. Renee, Tom was going to look at refreshing the striping on the west
Yes,
side.
he actually mentioned it to me when he found out I was going to be on the meeting and said, yes, he is scheduling that.
Okay, that's great news. Thank you. Any other questions for John? All right, thank you very much, John and Renee, as always, both of you guys for emailing your reports to us ahead of time. It is a great help. Item 5 is our next regular meeting date is Monday, October 5th. We're back to our usual first Monday. Does anybody have any new business? Item 6.
Ken, before you adjourn, would I use the same access code and call-in number for building needs?
No, this is just Public Works. There's a separate one for building needs.
Is Eileen on the call?
Eileen's right here, yep.
Yep. Oh, could she
Yep,
forward me
Greg,
that?
that's, I can't because I'm on my iPad and not my work computer. But if you have the access code is 997.
Hold on. Okay, 997.
717 029.
And it's the same 3412 call-in. Most likely.
No, the phone number, if you're calling in, is 1-872 240 3212.
3412 or 3212?
3212.
3212. Okay. Thank you, Eileen.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Laura Dancho, District 10.
Second, Bill O'Brien.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much, everybody, for your time and effort. We are adjourned at 5:31 PM.
Thank you.